I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video we're going to have a look at what David wants. Because on my previous video, David made a comment and he said, hey, nice to see you posting again. Look forward to some new content. Gaming projects, I would love to hear your opinion about Uncaged. So here we are going to have a look at Uncaged. If you have any questions specifically about the crypto market, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. Because as you see, I do look at them all the time. Uncaged. First of all, formerly known to me at least as Monkey Ball Soccer, I think that was the original name of the project, recently rebranded to Uncaged. I had to go onto the Twitter, look at the actual videos on how to pronounce it, because I was struggling. I couldn't really figure out that this means Uncaged. But yeah, definitely creative on that one. A Solana-based project, as far as I remember, turn-based football game, because we're European, we don't say soccer, but it must be an American team in that case if they refer to it as soccer. Very high expectations from the initial launch, went terrible. Game was an absolute disaster. Investors started dumping it, and we can see that here. End of the bull run 2021, $2.50. It's basically down 98%, still sitting at a ridiculous 27.7 million FDV, meaning that it was into the billions at this level, which obviously for a game like this turns out wasn't really the right thing on how to go about it. Exchanges lined up: Bybit, Gate, LA Token, then on the Radium Dex of Solana. Nothing too interesting here. Obviously got the Bybit exchange, that helps. Other than that, we're going to have a deep dive. What has happened? What is the opinion right now? And what have they been doing? So I did see this on my timeline a couple of days ago. Crypto Banter started hardcore shilling it in regards to the partnership. So their KOL network is still active. Is it the right place to be spending money? Who knows? But the token is up quite significantly. However, after coming down, bleeding, and I mean like bleeding, like harshly bleeding throughout the bear market, because you might not be able to see it because of this spike. But if I remove this spike, you basically see an ever growing linear downward trend over time, and we're talking months and months and months and months and months and months and months, all the way to this moment in time right now, which is the last month, where there's some volatile increase based on the announcement. Now I must say, I looked at the assets available. The rebrand looks really clean, but is this project beyond recovery, or is there still an opportunity at large? Coming up, we'll have a look and come to a certain type of conclusion at the end of this video. So tokens in circulation at the moment, about 62.5% of the total supply, which is a good indicator. I mean, there's still 40% left, assuming after this period in time all the investors are out. But we will have a look at the tokenomics, because obviously I got my hands on the white paper, which was very easy through their website. So first, before we judge the token, let's have a little bit of a look, because it does look a lot better than how I remember it. If we look at the homepage at the moment, I mean, it looks really clean. Am I on the homepage? Yeah, I'm on the homepage. It looks really clean, really professional, kind of unique, right? And we have a lot of it looks really cool. So that's one thing, branding on point, I would say. So then they have soccer. I don't really like it when they call it soccer. It's really then, I assume, for a US based audience. Everywhere in the world, we know it as football. It's an endless debate, right? But let's see. So this was originally the game that I recall, which is a turn-based football soccer game. And because it's turn-based, it kind of loses. People were expecting FIFA Street. It loses that entire dynamic of a fast-paced game, mobile game. But apparently, because I'm not into these games, doesn't mean that there's not an audience for it, right? I wouldn't say play epic matches if it's a turn-based game. Maybe they have improved it over time. Who knows? There's a little bit of a teaser here, so let's have a look. I did mute it though, but we can have a look. I mean, the assets look great. How it's presented, it's great. Play epic matches. But you kind of can't see, I feel like it's still turn-based. Uncaged, okay, so they did rebrand it. Mad skills, Okay, special tricks. Yeah, and they can use the cards to amplify it. So it must be still turn-based. I mean, if it's a core component of the game, I'm curious to see the user numbers, if it's actually significant. Perhaps we can find that somewhere. But yeah, not a fan, obviously, of the turn-based games in this format. I love turn-based games, strategy, like Civilization, these type of games. But this is not for me. Then again, am I a mobile gamer? No. So does my opinion matter? Probably not. I'm just sharing here on this YouTube video my opinion. Season 0 unlocked. Let's have a look at what that means. This is for the universe, so not for the soccer component, but it says, in the heart of Striker Park, Coach Jace on the lookout scouting street ballers for his crew. Then he spots Chaz showing off mad skills, bringing the heat. Okay, so the language is definitely for, I would assume, 8 to 14-year-old audience. There's an about section, a coin section, lockers, and you can download the game. We're not going to download the game and play it today, but I might do that in the future, depending on the feedback. So definitely after this video, or maybe even right now, share your thoughts in the comments down below. If there's enough interest to play the game, fuck it, we'll play it and we'll have a little look. So we have 2 Friedmans here. One is a co-founder and on the product side. The other is the CEO, head of R&D, okay, co-founder and chairman, okay, head of branding. Can I scroll? Okay, well, the animations are on point. Okay, where are we going? Okay, that's not good. I'm scrolling and I'm going to a different page. When I did about before, right, okay, so there's a lot of people, but how do I scroll through the people? I don't want to see these people. Oh, there we go. Okay, you gotta kind of select it or something. You got a head of product. Where do I click? Got an art director. I just gotta swipe it like this. Okay, so that's basically the team. Head of brand, head of product. There's a chief product officer. I don't know how many people that they have, but I do see some faces that I also seen on the Twitter timeline. And then Uncaged veterans from Playtika, Suki, Disney. Okay. Doesn't really mean that much. 6-Man Ventures, Griffin Gaming, that's the big one here. All the other ones I don't believe are that big. Yeah, okay, let's have a look. What are these lockers? Perhaps that is something interesting. Goes to a subdomain, must be something to do with NFTs, staking, your gateway to the token. Coming soon, October 8th. Oh, it's almost time. So probably that's why they ramp up the marketing. So they did make some cool announcements. Okay, this is the white paper, which we'll look at in a second. So they're at 126,000 followers out of 21, as you can see. Discord we'll look at in a second. But they made an announcement of a partnership with Meta. Now, usually what's the case with these type of partnerships, nothing really comes to fruition, right? You have to go for smaller brands, not massive partners, but it does pump the token a little bit, some traction, some hype. So Meta is here. I think there were some conversations about like they're partnering with Puma, right? Head of brand at Uncaged, Puma. They talk merchandise. For a project like this to do merchandise, I think it's really cool. They do these podcast style videos. I think that's really interesting, right? I think it's quite unique. Show a little bit behind the brand, but don't talk about merchandise. Nobody gives a fuck. Make a nice game. That's what everybody cares about. Okay, they do some roundtables. This is what they were teasing. I assume this is these lockers. Well, they look at NFTs. Maybe it's a staking component. Maybe it has to do with the partnership with Puma. Meta is here, right? Meta Uncaged. How are Puma, Meta, Solana, BP, and lockers all connected? So they might do like some NFTs inside the thing or some rewards. This is, I would assume, a KOL. I did watch this video. This is where I learned how to pronounce Uncaged. It's not the actual video that I looked at beforehand. Here, pronounced Uncaged. That's where I said it. I didn't even see that. So here they have the video. So currently, I think this has been out, over a year and a half. And if this is it, I hope they're building hard in the background, because so far, apart from the rebranding, which looks really good, the public assets, they look really good. A game that didn't receive the best feedback. I don't know the current state, but this needs heavy community backing, right? Games, game store, tournaments. There's just one game at the moment, gems, more lockers, whatever they will be, it's unclear as of now. Perhaps we'll find some more information in the white paper. Here we got Banter speaking about the project. Okay, who's this guy that he's talking to? That's the CEO of Uncaged. Okay, and that was at Solana Breakpoint in Singapore. Obviously, this is a Solana project. Then, of course, Ren from Crypto Banter also made a secondary post in regards to that. He made a little bit of a shill, so he must be involved in some way, at least on the KOL side. But as you can see, I mean, not gonna lie, I'm not here just to hate and spew negativity. If you even were holding this token at this point, I don't assume you made an entry on this level, but if luckily you did, you're up big time, right? The volumes are not that significant, right? Here less than 100,000, but I mean, it gained some traction, some awareness, and I think that's all this project needs at this stage. New awareness, rebrand, crisps. I mean, the branding looks 10 out of 10. Here we got Puma tweeting it from the original official account. That's solid, you know, very, very solid. I'm just not impressed with the game as of this moment. But yeah, maybe the conclusion that I should settle down on is that it's just not my cup of tea, and maybe it is for others. Let's have a look if we can find some of these user metrics, because I think it's interesting. Also, they keep playing on tablets while it's a mobile game, and I understand you can play mobile games on tablets, but that's obviously not really a fair comparison, unless this is some kind of like special Solana tablet. I don't know too much about the tablet space, but I would like to see it being played on a mobile game, because I would assume that's where the biggest audience is at. Now, in addition to that, let's have a look at the community before we head to the white paper. So on the community side, I did join the Discord. So the Discord has about 58,000 members, of which about around 2,000 online. So it's a big inactive community. Or here, online members, 1.2K out of 58K. They need to purge this. They need to bring in active community, or at least that sense of active community is definitely not there in this case. A lot of AMAs. I mean, this is July though. So July, some AMAs. August 1st, so every 2 weeks. Here it is, August 2nd, August 7th, Town Hall. It's like an AMA. August 10th, 14th, introduction to meet the team. Another one, 21 questions with the team. So this is, I think, the video that I watched, which links on Twitter. Which I was quite impressed with. It's like kind of a little bit of behind the scene, not really any tough questions, just more some interesting components. Like they show the office, and this is like the substance where you could say like, hey, they're doing a rebrand, it's quite big, the game is not that impressive, but they're working on it. You can see that's on a mobile display, which I would recommend in that case if you're pitching it as a mobile game, right? This together with a strong community is, in my opinion, what makes things happen in gaming in Web3. You know, you can get a significant amount of funding, sell out NFT collections, bring people together, whatever the purpose is, that's available in Web3, because, you know, 99% of projects are not willing to do this. Right. Recently, in one of my other videos, I touched upon Degen Distillery as a project that made great videos. Getting in touch with that community has a very small cultish community of maybe 500 people that carry the project in terms of token and NFTs, right? The guys from the team, they keep delivering big stuff, big name partnerships, RWA assets, like actual tangible stuff. And they're making it happen, you know, and that's great to see that crypto provides these opportunities to these entrepreneurs. And obviously the community gets the rewards as well over time when things do start to accumulate. You know, but yeah, the rebrand going well. I'm very curious to see why they rebranded, what the components were. There's not like a really big announcement. Maybe I should look for that Uncaged, because this is Puma. This is, how many reactions does that have? So 20. It's really inactive. This is from like a week ago. So the community is basically dead, and they really need to work on regaining the trust of that community. You know, leaving the old shit behind them, and that tends to happen on a rebrand. Now, when did that rebrand actually happen? Okay, Uncaged. I see a lot of Uncaged. It might have happened here. Monkey League are officially on base. Okay, so they did a base migration. Okay, so here it was still called Monkey League. This is a year ago, right? So there haven't been too many announcements. How's it going? Monkey Fam, huge news, Uncaged. Okay, so here we go. Beginning today, right? Base cap, some incentives, 30 likes. Not too bad, I would say, during the bear market, but for such a big community. Okay, so it wasn't really introduced that big Uncaged. That Uncaged brand, it just kind of switched. And I'm just reading all the announcements over a year ago, right? But that switch from Monkey League to Uncaged, it wasn't really clear, at least on the community side. There's a lot of activity announcements. So this is since July, right? And it kind of like stopped. Social feed, that is quite active. And then the main chat, I briefly went through the chat, 7th of October, 6th of October. There's not that much going on. The team is responsive, so that's good, right? The Uncaged team, I would say, very much present in the chat, so that's good. I hope it's not just to push these lockers, right? That's it, because you can see the interest is definitely not there. So they should have definitely taken a different approach. Now, what are these lockers? Nobody really knows yet, or at least I don't know. So let's have a look to see if we can find out in the community what these lockers are. Okay, somebody says absolutely rubbish. Why waste our time? Drop the whole Web3 game. It's valuable. Okay. We do not control the market. We are building, however, a V2 game where it's live action gameplay instead of turn-based. Okay, that's great. This was a couple days ago. Lockers are going live in 4 days. Gen 0 NFTs will be swappable to the new digital ballers. Okay, they're gonna swap. Token swap is never a good thing, specifically if 80% of your holders are inactive. That's going to be a longevity nightmare. Really need to think that through. May as well give a locker a sufficient amount of tokens to each holder, maybe offer a ban. Okay. Stake activities in other locker seasons. We'll be releasing, this is a community first-hand opportunity to stake their tokens for juicy APR. I mean, APR is not really a good argument ever, I would say, because that's just dilution. Right, so everybody gets more tokens, which means if the demand doesn't change, price will go down. Basic economics. I think that's a very strong argument. But people keep referring to these lockers, so there's a lot of traction on these lockers. Let's go back to the white paper and see if we can find something about these lockers. So this is the football, this is the game economy, but we're looking for lockers. Lockers. Is there anything in the white paper? Okay. Then we're looking for lockers. Okay. What is the lockers program and how does it work? The MBS lock room program is an exclusive initiative where users can lock their Uncaged tokens for a set period, gaining eligibility for special rewards tied to in-game store activity. This program not only encourages long-term engagement within the ecosystem, also provides... Okay, so it's a different wording for staking. Yeah, very disappointing. Read this as of now. They're referring to exclusive rewards tied to in-game store activity, or at least gaining eligibility for special rewards. I'm curious to hear about the rewards, I'm trying to stay positive, but this sounds shit, right? So, the question here for this project is, what does the V2 look like? I mean, could be hella impressive, right? I mean, the studio looked impressive, what they basically shared. You can see they're extremely transparent at the moment, got some good partnerships going. Are they going to basically roll it out, include the Meta Play Store or what they have on Facebook Play, where you can play like mobile games with that V2, which is not turn-based? What is the timeline on that V2? Yeah, it would be great. Let me see if I can get in touch with the team, get them on a conversation. They seem to be doing some videos, ask them some tough questions on what that looks like. And of course, I'm always willing to be nice, give these people some exposure, because I mean, the branding is absolutely sick. So whoever they're using for branding, whoever they're using for the marketing side, give these people a raise because it's looking really, really good. On the tokenomics, vesting dilution, there's no additional components to where we would basically see the vesting end, right? I might be able to look it up. Let's see if we can find it. Token vesting. Crypto rank. So unless they change the vesting, next unlock. Okay, so we need the private round. And the private round is basically done, right? It's just players and ecosystem left. Everything has been vested, even the team has been fully unlocked. So there's just a little bit left if this data is correct and still up to date, but the investors are out. Everybody's out except the player and ecosystem, which has like 25% of it still locked, which is at least good news, you know? It's definitely good news. So that's a decent indicator if you're curious about these components. Not much news on the locker, not much news on the rebrand from what I'm seeing at the moment. And I would say rebrand, I'm rambling. Rebrand referring to, obviously, the connection to the V2, right? So my main questions at the moment, after doing this thorough analysis, if we're looking from like a financial incentive point of view, could this token do something in the future? At the moment, I will pass kindly. Okay, they've raised 24 million in Series A equity funding. Griffin, okay, this is what we see. Okay, Drive is there as well. So yeah, I mean, this was updated 6 months ago, so I don't know when they raised that money. But maybe that's when they went from a game to an ecosystem, Uncaged, all that. But yeah, I would definitely love to speak with the team or anybody that has more information on where things are going to go. I would pass on this token at the moment because I think there are more significant opportunities, although I am impressed of the branding. In addition to that, I want to know when the next game is coming out, or at least when it's on the timeline. Although I know things change over time, I would like to have an indication on when we can expect the next game, because I think that's the major milestone. What is the substance of these two marketing partnerships, if they can elaborate in terms of what that looks like? And then what is the user data behind the current game to see if it's interesting. Then again, I hope they keep this consistent. I hope if they put as much effort in these marketing assets as they do basically in regaining the trust of the community, which again lies in consistency, transparency, proper updates over longer periods of time. So this is not a 2-3 month kind of thing. This is like a continuous kind of thing. I think branding wise, KOL support wise, they can really re-establish themselves if they want to. So that's basically my opinion. If I get answers on these 3 questions, I might reconsider, but as of now, I will pass on this project. If you have any questions or updates in regards to these questions for this project, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. If you have another project you would like to share and I can have a look at, feel free to share it. I'll pick it up as soon as I have availability. Thank you so much for watching. That was everything for today, and I will see you in the next one.